Hello, hello. So, how are you this week? Has it been a good week this week? Yeah. Did you go into the garden a little bit, maybe? Okay. Well, are you ready for some more English today? I hope so. I hope you aren't too bored. Okay, so now just to start this week, we had the vocabulary on the sheet to revise. So, did you have the time to learn the vocabulary? I hope so. So, can you remember how can you say un procès? Un procès ou un essai ou une épreuve? Un procès? Yeah, it's a trial. A trial. Remember the lady and the tiger, the trial? Okay, how can you say applaudir? Or acclamer, applaudir? Yeah, it's to cheer. So to cheer, yay, acclamer. Yeah. And with the hands is to clap. So I clap and I cheer. Yay! And remember, for drinks we say ch, santé, cheers, cheers. Okay, good. How do you say se débarrasser de quelque chose? I must ch something. Yeah. Is to get rid of something. Yeah, I must get rid of my old table, for example. Okay, good. Now, we talked about some vocabulary for houses, different styles of houses, different types of houses. So how can you say une maison individuelle entourée d'un jardin? Yeah, it's a detached house. Detached house. And une maison mitoyenne? Yeah. It's a terraced house. A terraced house. Yeah. So remember, you have a terrace in the garden. Yeah. So I have a terrace, but if the house is a terraced house, it's connected to different houses. Okay, good. Do you remember for distance, how can you say, or how do we say, it's nearly, presque, un demi-hectare? Yeah. It's an acre, an acre. So we talk about acres. The British system it's a mess. It's a mess. So normally we use the metric system, but sometimes we use the old imperial system. So it's a mix. It's a mess. So for example, for distance, we have miles. For surface area, we use acres for farms, for example. For height, I think in feet and inches. But we also use the metric system, so it's a mess. I'm sorry. Remember, in America, they don't use the metric system at all. Okay, it's just the imperial system. So in England, the metric system is okay, but in America, no. You must have gallons, miles, etc. Okay. Now, how do you say le personnel in a hotel, for example? Le personnel. Yeah, it's the staff. The staff. And staff is plural. It's a plural word. So the staff are Now, the staff are at home, probably. There's not a lot of tourism at the moment. Okay, good. Now, well, look at this. Look at this.
Of all the trees that grow so fair, old England to adorn, greater honour beneath the sun than oak and ash and thorn. Sing oak and ash and thorn, good sirs, all of a midsummer's morn. Surely we sing of no little thing in oak and ash and thorn. Oak of the clay lived many a day, or ever Aeneas began. Ash of the loam was a lady at home when Brut was an outlaw man.
Okay, now why do you want to listen to a song about trees, Dan? Well, because I wanted to talk about family trees. Family tree. So what is a family tree? Yeah, so an arbre généalogique. Yeah, it's a family tree. Now, here you can see this fantastic woman. Yeah, she is a distant ancestor of mine. So she is my great grandmother. So she is my grandmother's grandmother. Okay, absolutely, yes. So, are you interested in genealogy? Maybe. Are you interested in your family history? Okay, now what are your memories of your grandparents? Do you have good memories of your grandparents? Think, how was their life different to your life? Maybe they could go outside to the shop, for example. Okay, now, how far can you write or draw your family tree? Can you trace your family history? Has someone in your family tried to create a family tree? Or maybe, have you ever used a genealogy website? So in my family, I have the photo of my great grandmother, because my uncle, he has worked very hard to create a family history on my father's side. So you have on my mother's side, on my father's side. And he found some exciting connections. Yeah, he found connections all over the world in the family, so it's quite interesting. So maybe you have a family tree. I think he said it was difficult because you have to look in old church records, the register of births and deaths, and of course, if a person changes country, you must find the information in a different language, or maybe the language becomes very old. Or in France, of course, I imagine you have problems with the records because of the revolution, or maybe just accidents. Maybe there is a fire and records are destroyed. My mother's side is very difficult to trace because her name is Thomas. In Wales is Thomas, and all the family have the name Thomas. All the neighbours have the name Thomas, so it's difficult to trace the tree. Now, in the book, turn to page 60. Page 60 in the student book. Now here you have the Booz family, or the Buse family. I don't know, maybe the Buse family. It's a name. Okay, now you can see wonderful family on page 60, and you have the map. You have Norway, the Orkney Islands, Newcastle. It's very nice, Newcastle. And then finally to Perth in Australia. So this is the route of the family from the past to the present. Now this man here, this is David Buse, and he comes from England, in Newcastle. He has a Newcastle accent, and now he lives in Perth in Australia. Very nice. And he recently started to research his family tree, his family history. Okay, so first we have questions here in number 2. So lots of listening today. Okay, and remember, for the audio, if you want to listen again, you can click on the link on the website under the video. Okay, so listen to the audio, tape script 7.10. Okay, and answer the questions. Okay.
Tape script 7.10. David Taylor Buse.
I come from Newcastle in England, but now I live in Perth, Australia. I've been here nearly 10 years. My wife, Jodie, is Australian, and our children, Russell and Alice, were born here. Alice is named after my grandmother, her great-grandmother, Alice Buse. She's 89 now and still lives in Newcastle. Lately, I've become really interested in my family history back in the UK. I've started speaking to my grandmother about it. I've found out that she was the youngest of 9 children and the only one to have been born in England. Her 8 brothers and sisters were all born in Scotland. They came from the very north of Scotland, from some islands called the Orkneys. They worked there as farmers over 100 years ago. My grandmother told me that hundreds of years before that, our family's ancestors were actually Norwegian. They came over to Scotland in the 9th century. She says that's why we all have blonde hair in our family. Anyway, it became more and more difficult for my great-grandparents to make a living farming, so they travelled south. They finally arrived in the north of England, in Newcastle, with their 8 children. Alice was born soon after they arrived.
Okay, did you find the answers? Yeah, for number 2. So how long has he lived in Perth? So 10 years. Who are the 2 Alices in his life? Well, it's his grandmother and his daughter. Where does his grandmother live? In Newcastle. Or they say Newcastle with the accent. Where were her brothers and sisters born? In Scotland. They were farmers. What did her parents do for a living? So we say to make a living, to earn a living. Okay. So what did they do to make a living? Well, they were farmers. Okay, what happened in the 9th century? Yeah. The family came from Norway to Scotland. Why do so many people have blonde hair? Because they are from Norway. It's very scientific information. Okay. Why did the family leave Orkney? Because it was difficult to make a living. It was difficult to earn a living. Okay, well now the same exercise, this time number 3. Okay, number 3. So listen to number 3 and find the answers to the questions. Sometimes you find the person, sometimes different information. So listen again. Okay, and remember, you can click on the audio to listen again, and you have the dialogue at the back of the book on page 128. Okay, so listen now to exercise 3, tape script 7.11, and answer the questions.
Tape script 7.11. Talking to Grandma.
So, Grandma, your parents were both born in the Orkney Islands, is that right?
Yes. My mother was called Jane. She grew up there and she married when she was just 17.
And you were her 9th child?
Yes. I was the only one born in England. Times were really hard for my mother. You see, my father died when I was 3. I can't remember him at all.
So what did your mother do?
She worked as a cleaner and a dressmaker.
She had 2 jobs and a big family.
Oh, yes. She was an amazing lady. But my 2 eldest brothers, they got work in the shipyard, so that helped too. All my brothers and sisters have died now. I'm the only one left.
I know. Did you marry young, Grandma?
Oh, no. I didn't marry until I was 22.
That's still young.
It wasn't unusual in those days. And I had only 3 children.
But now you have lots of grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
I do. They live all over the world, not just in Australia.
I know. I have cousins in New Zealand and America. But Cousin Peter still lives near you, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He helps me keep in touch with you all with this Skype thing.
Yeah, this Skype is amazing, isn't it?
Oh, yes. I love it. I talk to all my grandchildren and I've seen all my great-grandchildren. I email sometimes too. Email, Skype and texting. It's all really wonderful, isn't it?
It is, Grandma. It's just great talking to you. I've got lots more questions for next time.
Okay. Did you like the Newcastle accent? So who was she married at 17? Who is she, the person? Yeah, it was her mother, Jane. Well, I can't remember him at all. Yeah, it was her father. So she had 2 jobs and a big family. Yeah. So she was a cleaner. She cleaned. She was a dressmaker for clothes. And it was a big family. They had 9 children. Too many, maybe. Okay. They got work, they found work in the shipyards. So the shipyard is the place to construct, to build ships and boats in Newcastle. So the shipyards, so it was the 2 brothers, the eldest brothers, the oldest brothers. So it wasn't unusual in those days. It wasn't strange. Yeah. It was to be married at 22. And they live all over the world. So who are they? Well, they are the family, the grandchildren. They live in Australia, New Zealand, Newcastle, everywhere. Okay. So he helps me keep in touch with you all, or he helps me stay in touch with you all. Okay, rester en contact, to keep in touch, to stay in touch. Who is he? This wonderful man. It's Cousin Peter, or with the accent, Cousin Peter. Cousin Peter. And finally, it's all really wonderful, isn't it? So it's technology, so Skype, texting, sending text messages, texting, in the Newcastle accent. Okay. Skype, texting, I don't know, MSN, Messenger, Facebook, Zoom, video conferencing. It's fantastic to communicate in isolation. Now, I want to change the subject for some everyday English, so l'anglais quotidien. Okay. Now, to start, I have a few clips from films, some extracts from famous films. Now, they have something in common with the grammar. So watch the clips and can you see the grammar similarity? Okay, so look at this.
No one's flying the plane! Oh God! You know how to fly, don't you?
No. Do you?
Oh no.
How hard?
Oh, maybe just whistle. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
How childish can you get, huh? You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses on, would you? Huh?
Bourbon, a little glass, and some ice. You can do that, can't you, Lloyd? You're not too busy, are you? No, sir.
So, do you know some of the films, maybe? So, you can see we repeat the verbs with this structure. Okay? So the verb is can. So can you, can he. I repeat, can. The verb is will. I repeat, will. The verb is, well, it's the present. I use do. So you want to learn English, don't you? Yeah. Or the past, we use did. So think, what is the question? Do you want to learn? So I see. If I think of the question, I see the auxiliary verb. Okay, so you want to learn English, don't you? Okay, so the question is, do you want to learn English? So we see the verb to use is do. Or he learnt English, didn't he? So the question is, did he learn English? So you can see the auxiliary verb, because do and did, they disappear in the affirmative sentence. But think what is the question? You can find the auxiliary verb. It's very good practice. This subject is very good practice for your auxiliary verbs, okay? And this is how we speak naturally, okay? So look at page 61, okay? So number 1, we have, it's really wonderful. These are lines, you know, from Alice, yeah, and David. So Alice said, it's really wonderful, isn't it? Yeah. Or we had David, you come from Scotland, don't you? Or life wasn't easy then, was it? Or you've lived in England for years, haven't you? Okay. Now, we do something with the voice, because there are two questions, or two functions, in fact, with question tags. So number 1, we make the tag, you know, n'est-ce pas, isn't it, can't you, etc. The tag. We make the tag when we want to confirm something, to be reassured we are correct. We use the tag. And we use the tag if it is a real question. And the difference is the voice, yeah? So think, when it is a real question, normally, you know, the voice goes up. Yeah. Do you want to come? Do you want to come? Yeah. The voice goes up for a real question. Okay. And if it goes down, then it's to confirm, yeah, to reassure me I am correct. Okay. It is natural, don't worry. The question goes up if it's a real question, naturally. Okay. If it goes down, it's more to confirm. But you can hear. Okay. Well, listen. Maybe I made a mistake with the question. So listen again to the question tags and think, does the intonation go up? Is it a question? Or does it go down to confirm information? So listen again.
Tape script 7.12. Question tags.
It's really wonderful, isn't it? You come from Scotland, don't you? Life wasn't easy then, was it? You've lived in England for years, haven't you?
Yeah, you hear the intonation up or down? Okay. So down, I want you to confirm, to agree, and up is the real question. Well, listen again. Okay, listen again to exercise number 2. So we have these conversations here. Okay, listen again. And remember, you can click on the audio on the website to listen again. Now try to draw an arrow, dessiner une flèche. Now, does the tag go down? Does the tag go up? So number one, it's a lovely day, isn't it? So it goes down. Dessiner une flèche qui descend. Yeah. Well, we all love days like that, don't we? So again, don't we? The voice goes down. In fact, the exercise is easy, but it's difficult for you to go down. And many times you start too low and you try to go down, and it's a disaster. You are not Barry White, okay? So you don't go down and more down, okay? So, for example, I say, it's a lovely day, isn't it? Donc il faut commencer un peu plus haut pour descendre, parce que si on commence en bas et après on descend, c'est trop difficile. It's a lovely day, isn't it? You must start higher, okay? So the difficulty is just the voice. Well, listen to the audio, okay, and draw the arrows now.
Tape script 7.13. It's a lovely day, isn't it? 1.
It's a lovely day, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Beautiful.
We all love days like this, don't we?
We certainly do.
2.
Mummy, our cat isn't very big, is she?
No, she isn't. She's just a kitten.
And she loves fish, doesn't she?
She does. It's her favourite food.
3.
We had such a good holiday, didn't we?
We did. We had a great time.
And it wasn't too expensive, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't expensive at all.
4.
The baby looks just like her mother, doesn't she?
Uh-huh. Same blue eyes, same nose.
But she's got her father's blonde hair, hasn't she?
Yes, she's very fair.
Okay, it's okay. So look at the structure. So what is the verb that we repeat? So number one, so it is a lovely day. So être, so it is, isn't it? Or also, number one, so we love days like this, don't we? So we love days. Think, what is the question? Do we love days? So we love days, the verb is do for the present. So we love days like this, don't we? Okay, it's a present question, so do or don't. Or number two, so our cat isn't big. So isn't becomes is she. So it's être encore. Or the second part of number two. So she loves fish. So it's the present. So the question, think, does she love fish? So third person, she loves fish. Doesn't she? Or number three, so now it's the past. So we had a good holiday. So what is the question? Did you have a good holiday? So did for the past. So we had a good holiday, didn't we? Okay. Or the past for être, be. It wasn't expensive. So it wasn't, and the tag was it. Or number four, so the baby looks like her mother. So again, present. The question is, does she look like her mother? So she looks like her mother, doesn't she? So remember, present, do or does. Past, did. Or she has got her father's blonde hair. So she has got, hasn't she? And you see, with tags, the first part is positive. The second part, the tag, is negative. Or if the first part is negative, the second part is positive. So she loves chocolate, doesn't she? So she loves chocolate, positive, doesn't she? Yeah. Or she has got a cat. She has got a cat, hasn't she? Or the opposite. So she doesn't want to eat. She doesn't want to eat, and the tag, does she? Or she didn't come to the party. Did she? Okay, you see the negative and the positive are inverted. Okay, so now, try to complete number 3. Okay, so find the tag. So what is the verb? And think positive or negative for the tag. Okay, good. So number 1, so it was a great party. So the tag, wasn't it? Or number 2, he knows everything. He knows everything, doesn't he? Or number 3, it's the past. You went to school. So didn't you? So the past, didn't. Number 4, so it isn't easy, is it? It isn't easy, is it? Probably to confirm, is it? Or number 5, our English has improved a lot. Has improved, so has improved, hasn't it? Or 6, we haven't had a break, a pause, for ages. So we haven't had a break, have we? Yeah. And normally, we haven't had a break for ages, for a long time, have we? Normally, to say yes or no is a bit short. It's a bit short. So normally, again, we can repeat the same verb. Okay, so for example, number 1 here, so exercise 3, number 1. It was a great party last night, wasn't it? And probably, to continue, we say, yes, it was. So it was a great party, wasn't it? Yes, it was. You did want to come, didn't you? Yes, I did. Yeah, so we repeat to continue. Okay, it's just a way to speak. Now, number 4, you have the next line in the conversation. So stop the video and try to associate the questions in exercise 3 and the next line in exercise 4 to continue the conversation. Okay. It's okay. Okay, so it was a great party last night, wasn't it? So, yes, it was. I really enjoyed it. Or Dave knows everything about computers, doesn't he? Yes, he does. He can fix them, repair. He can fix them and program them. Or you went to school with my brother, didn't you? Yes, I did. Didn't you? Yes, I did. We were really good friends. Or learning a language isn't easy, is it? No, it isn't. It isn't easy, is it? No, it isn't. It needs a lot of practice and patience. So number 5, our English has improved a lot, hasn't it? So hasn't it? Yes, it has. Yeah, we're all much better now. Yes. Or number 6, we haven't had a break for ages, for a long time. Have we? So, have we? No, we haven't. It's time for one right now. Okay? And if you want to listen again, remember, click on the link on the website. So this is TapeScript 7.14 to listen again. Okay, now the homework today is not in the workbook. In fact, so the homework today, turn to page 156 in the student book. Okay. So we have this part, Unit 7, okay, extra materials, everyday English, agree with me. Now you have some little conversations. Now your homework is to add some question tags, okay? But not every line. Yeah, it's too much, every line. So maybe 2 question tags for each conversation. Okay, so add 2 question tags for each conversation. You know, where is natural? Okay, so listen to the voice inside, la voix intérieure. Okay. So find the best place for the question tags. So number 1, for example, it's horrible weather today, isn't it? Because I want you to agree with me. Yes, awful. Or the rain makes you miserable, doesn't it? Yep, and wet. Never mind. We need the rain, don't we? I suppose so. So try to add the question tags in the most natural place. Okay? And then you can listen and compare. Okay? So if you listen on the website to the audio TapeScript 7.15, you can compare with your answers. Okay, and also, again, you have the dialogue for their ideas. At the end of the book, on page 128, you have a dialogue. Okay. And you can listen to the audio and then practice the voice that goes up or the voice that goes down. Okay? There are different possibilities for this exercise. Okay, but this is just some ideas, the most natural ideas. And remember, we follow the verb, so can you? Can't. No, do you? Don't. No, will you? Won't. Would you? Wouldn't. Okay, So remember, positive, negative, or negative, positive. Okay? Well, good luck. And if you have questions, remember, don't hesitate to email me. You have different ideas on danjbrown78@gmail.com. Okay? Have a good week. You will come again, won't you? Okay. See you soon. Bye-bye.